Samuel's nights were vast. Empty desert sleep remained a distant, shimmering mirage, always retreating as he stumbled towards it. His small apartment felt like a cage after midnight, filled only by the relentless ticking of the clock and the whirl of anxious thoughts in his mind. He'd stare at the ceiling, tracing cracks that seemed to multiply in the gloom. Feeling utterly alone in the silent city, exhaustion clung to him like a heavy coat. Yet the sweet relief of unconsciousness remained. Perpetually out of reach, he longed for the simple, forgotten comfort of drifting off without a battle, the world gently dissolving around him. The constant fatigue eroded his days, leaving him feeling hollow and adrift. Yearning for an anchor in the dark one rain-slicked evening, seeking only shelter from the downpour, Samuel pushed open the heavy, weathered door of Hearth and Crumb, a tiny bakery tucked between larger, brighter shops. The scent that enveloped him was an immediate balm. Rich, warm, and impossibly comforting. Like being embraced by sunlight itself. Behind the counter stood Eleanor, her face a roadmap of gentle lines, her eyes holding a deep, quiet calm that seemed to settle the very air. She moved with unhurried grace, dusting flour from her apron as if shedding worries. Seeing Samuel's drenched, weary state, she didn't ask about pastries. Instead, she gestured towards a small, worn table near the still warm ovens. "Come sit by the warmth, dear," she offered, her voice a low, soothing melody. The rain plays a fierce tune tonight. As Samuel dried off, mesmerized by the rhythmic thump of dough being kneaded on a wooden bench nearby, he found himself confessing his restless nights, the words tumbling out like spilled flour. Eleanor listened without interruption, her hands never pausing in their work. She shaped the dough with a tenderness that spoke of deep understanding. "Ah, sleep," she murmured finally, a soft sigh escaping her lips. "Euro-s, much like baking good bread. You know, rushing it only brings disappointment. True rest, like true flavor, needs patience and the right ingredients, carefully measured." She explained how the frantic energy of the day needed time to settle, just as wild yeast needed time to work its magic quietly in the bowl. "Unseen, but essential. You cannot force the rising," she said, her gaze meeting his, full of ancient, patient wisdom. Eleanor began sharing her simple recipe. "Each step a gentle ritual. First," she said, pouring warm milk into a small, chipped cup for him. "Create warmth within, like preparing the dough's bath. A small kindness to your body as the light fades." She spoke of dimming the harsh electric lights an hour before bed, mimicking the sun's gentle surrender, allowing the mind's busy yeast to slow its frantic activity. "This winding down," she insisted, was the essential first, proving a quiet time for reading soft words or listening to calm sounds, letting the sharp edges of the day soften and blur into the gathering twilight. It was about signaling to every weary part of oneself that the work was done, the kitchen closing for the night. Then, Eleanor continued, her voice dropping to a near whisper as she shaped a loaf with practiced ease. "Establish your rhythm, your kneading pattern for the soul." This was the sacred routine, washing the day from one's face with cool water, perhaps writing down swirling thoughts to empty the mental mixing bowl, slipping into soft, familiar night clothes. Let your body know, through these repeated, gentle motions, that it is time to rest, just as the dough knows, through the baker's touch, when to rest and rise. She emphasized consistency, performing these calming steps in the same quiet order each night, building a reliable pathway towards tranquility, a familiar road leading home to sleep. The predictability itself became a comfort, a lullaby for the nervous system. "Finally," Eleanor said, placing the shaped loaf into a flowered basket for its final rise, covering it with a clean, damp cloth. "Create your nest, your proving drawer," she described, making the bedroom a sanctuary dedicated solely to sleep, cool, dark, and profoundly quiet. Like the dough needs stillness and the right warmth to rise fully, your mind and body need perfect peace to drift deeply. Investing in comfort, pillows that cradled, blankets that embraced without smothering, was not indulgence, but necessity. "This space," she gestured as if blessing the unseen room, "is your vessel for the night's journey. Keep it clean, keep it calm, keep it sacred only for rest and the quiet mending that happens beneath the surface of dreams." Samuel followed Eleanor's recipe with a newfound reverence, not as a desperate cure. But as a nightly ritual of self-kindness, the warm milk became a signal, the dimming lights a curtain drawing closed on the day's stage his small routines, washing, changing, a few pages of a gentle book, became a soothing lullaby for his senses in his carefully prepared room. Cool and dark, he focused on the rhythmic memory of Eleanor kneading dough, the steady thump, thump, thump echoing in his mind gradually. Wonderfully, the frantic thoughts stilled, the tightness in his shoulders eased, and the vast desert of night began to bloom with the soft, welcoming grass of drowsiness. Sleep, when it finally came, felt less like sinking and more like being gently gathered into arms of deep, velvety peace. Years later, long after Eleanor had passed, Samuel stood behind his own bakery counter. A young woman with shadowed eyes and restless hands lingered near closing. Looking lost, Samuel recognized the familiar fatigue, the quiet desperation. He poured warm milk into a familiar chipped cup, the one Eleanor had given him. "Come, sit by the warmth," he offered softly, his voice carrying the same calm melody he'd learned long ago in the rain. As the city lights dimmed outside, he began to share the timeless recipe, not just for bread, but for finding peace in the quiet hours, for transforming the empty desert of night into a garden of restorative rest, one patient, gentle step at a time. The warmth of the ovens, the scent of fresh bread, and the quiet words wove their own nightly magic, proving that the true recipe was one passed on with kindness, measured in moments of shared understanding, and baked slowly in the heart's quiet hearth.